Hello once again, my dear students. We are starting with the second lecture of e-commerce and ERP. I hope you still remember the first lecture. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the traditional commerce versus the electronic commerce. Basically, there are so many differences, but I have tried to categorize them on the basis of some given criteria. The traditional definition of a traditional commerce and the electronic commerce, the definition itself has a big difference. The traditional commerce is a branch of business which basically focuses on the exchange of products and services, including activities which encourage exchange in the same way or the other. Means we are not doing it electronically. Whereas in e-commerce, whenever we are doing the transactions or exchange of information or goods on the internet, then it is known as e-commerce or electronic commerce. The criteria of processing of transactions in traditional commerce, the transactions are done manually, and in e-commerce, transactions are automated. The accessibility of traditional commerce is of limited time. It means that if we want to go and purchase to a shop from a shop, then we need to think about the timing of the opening and closing of the shop. It is time limited activity. Whereas in e-commerce, it is 24 by 7 by 365, means round the clock. You can order anywhere, anytime, and by any mode. The physical inspection in traditional commerce is very much possible. You can physically inspect the goods before purchasing them. Whereas in e-commerce, you cannot be, it is not possible to inspect the goods physically before the purchase. You only have to means order by looking at the picture of the goods. The customer interaction in traditional commerce is definitely face to face. We go physically to buy a particular good and then we purchase the goods face to face. Whereas in e-commerce, the purchase is using screen to face, means we look on the for the goods on the screen and purchase the goods. The scope of the business in traditional commerce is limited to a particular area. Means if you are selling household groceries, then maybe you are limited to that only. If you are selling apparels, you are limited to that only. Though we are very much in favor of the culture of opening big shops wherein different category things are there, but that needs a lot of investment. In e-commerce, the reach is worldwide. You can get a purchaser from throughout the world anywhere if you are on e-commerce. Information exchange in traditional commerce, no uniform platform for exchange of information is there. Whereas in e-commerce, it provides a uniform platform for information exchange. You might have often see the ratings of a good before purchasing it. That how other customers have given feedback for the particular good. So that is we have a uniform platform for exchange of information. Resource focus, the traditional commerce has a supply side resource focus, means the supplier is always supplying the goods, and e-commerce has a demand side focus, means whatever is in demand you have to sell that. The business relationship in traditional commerce is linear, whereas in e-commerce it is end to end. It means it keeps on fluctuating. The marketing in traditional commerce is one way, and in e-commerce it is one to one marketing. The payment in traditional commerce is generally check, cash, credit card, etc., debit card also. Whereas in e-commerce, it can be credit card, it can be through debit card, it can be through fund transfer. So modes are somewhat similar. We have e-commerce in payment in cash payment mode as well. So the payment modes is often means like if you want to transfer the funds, then through if we are doing traditional commerce, we can through PayPal, we can through pay through Paytm. So these are similar in payment. Delivery of goods in traditional commerce is instantly. When we require a good, we go and purchase it and we get it immediately. Whereas in e-commerce, the delivery of the goods takes time. Next, we have the issues with e-commerce. The main issues with e-commerce are finding the right products to sell. Means you might have seen that so many websites are offering you that you can create your own website and start with a business immediately. So what it gives, it makes it very difficult for the retailers to source unique products unless they decide to manufacture it on their own. Means where do I get that unique product which I want to sell? Because every website is selling the same product, all are in the same boat. So this is a big problem. Then we have the attracting the perfect customers. Online shopping or online establishment of a business is not an easy task. You can search for so many goods. You can Google for so many goods. You can search for recommender systems for so many goods. You can look at social media. So many goods are available. If you try to purchase a particular say mobile phone, you will find so many websites selling the same thing. Then how do I attract the perfect customer if I am a seller? This is a big problem. Then generating targeted traffic. Digital marketing has created a big problem in generating targeted traffic. Retailers can no longer rely on one type of channel to derive traffic to their online store. Means there are so many social media sites, email sites, ads. They are targeting customers. So you have to conquer for targeting a particular traffic to your website. Capturing quality leads. Online retailers are basically spending a large amount of money on quality services or giving quality services to the customer and driving traffic to their online store. With conversion rates are around 1% to 3%, means people come and visit your site but they do not purchase. So this is a very big problem. Retailers must craft the right message for the right audience in order to convert them into leads with hopes of turning them into customers. Means we visit so many stores, like we used to use the term window shopping in physical shopping. People used to go and search window by window and they don't used to purchase. Similarly it is in e-commerce. Here the sites are unlimited. You can browse through products and select if you like and you don't select if you don't like. Means even if we are sitting free, we like to look at products for time pass. It often confuses the e-commerce sites. Nurturing the ideal prospects means having a large email list is useless if you don't actively engage with the subscribers. Means you have a long email list but you are not giving them your advertisements. So you are not nurturing them in a proper way. So you have to nurture them so that they convert into a fruitful customer for you. Converting shoppers into paying customers, again it is the same thing, that we must focus on advertising properly so that whoever are the shopper for your site, they convert into a paying customer. Then we have the retaining customer. This is another big problem. There are so many sites available. If I have a bad experience from a particular site, I will tell 10 friends of mine. Last time I gave you the example of a low quality or a poor quality product, and then the person has posted whole story on Facebook. So what it results into? It results into the loss of that customer as well as the customers which are in his contact list. So it is a big problem of retaining customers. Achieving profitable long term growth is another big problem. You have to focus on long term growth, means you have to stay in the market. Online retailers must always find ways to cut inventory cost, improve marketing efficiency, reduce overhead, reduce shipping cost, and control order returns so that you are there in the market. You have to survive there in the market. Choosing the right technology and partner means you have to find very easy solutions for the customers, because customer get irritated if he is not getting a very easy technology to use. If your website is very complicated, then nobody is going to use your website. They will tell others also that it is not a good site. So you have to go for inventory management softwares, you have to go for email softwares, you have to go for shopping cart solutions, etc., so that your site may become easy for the customers. The last one is, though the list is not limited, there are n numbers of issues with online shopping. Attracting and hiring the right people to make it all happen means so many people will visit your site, look at the products and leave. So whom to attract and how to attract so that they convert into valuable customers, and then we have to retain those customers as well. So this is a big problem if we talk about the issues in e-commerce. I hope you will study more about it because it is not a limited um, list. You have a long list which is having these type of issues. Then we come to the next topic, that is inter-organizational e-commerce. Inter-organizational or B2B, business to business e-commerce is a commerce where, let me give you an example. I am a retailer, means I have a small shop and I purchase using electronic commerce from a wholesaler. And then when I get those products, I place an order from the wholesaler, I get the product delivered. And then I myself, since I am a retailer, I take orders from small customers nearby and I deliver to them. So this is a business to business e-commerce. It is simply defined as e-commerce between companies, means I am a small company and I am ordering from a bigger company. Later on I am selling or eating, that is a different thing, but I am a small company and I am ordering from a bigger company. This type of e-commerce deals with relationship and among businesses. It is all about transaction between one organization and their partners. Most of the business to business applications are in supplier management, inventory management, distribution management, and payment management. Supplier management is a case where um, we are small suppliers of goods. Like if I am having a small store, I take my goods from Bikaner wala, I take my goods from Bikaji, I take my goods from so many such of like Cadbury, Bonvita, Cadbury, and then such type of things, such type of companies, and then then I sell to somebody else. So whoever has taken the franchisee from these companies, they provide me the goods. I am a small retailer. Then we have inventory management. It is also similar type of thing wherein I have to manage the goods. I should not come shortage. I should not have shortage of goods. Distribution management. I have to distribute to rest of the suppliers nearby. Then payment management means the payment gateway should be very easy, and it should be free of theft, it should be free of forgeries type of things, it should be secure. B2B identifies both the seller as well as the buyer as business entities, means both are important for B2B e-commerce. What are the key technologies that are used in B2B e-commerce? First is the electronic data interchange. What is EDI? It is an inter-organizational exchange of business documents in structured and machine processable format between what between business to business, means inter organizational. One organization is exchanging documents from another organization. Internet, it represents the world wide web or network of networks connecting computers across the world. Intranet, it represents a dedicated network of computers within a single organization. Like we have our own intranet, like Amazon is our own intranet service. Then we have extranet. Extranet represents a network where the outside business partners, suppliers, or customers can have a limited access to a prior of enterprise or intranet network. Backend information system integration is database management system used to manage the business data, means how we manage the database. See, if we talk of inventory management system, supplier system, all these things are having database at the back end, means the information is stored in the form of rows and columns. I am telling you in simple terms. And then we have to keep that database free of errors. There should not be any duplicacy of data. Means database management system, all the properties of database management system are inculcated in that database. So these are the key technologies which are used in B2B e-commerce. Then we come to B2C, or intra-organizational e-commerce. I gave you an example that I am a retailer and I purchase from a supplier, a bigger company, and then I sell to the end customer. Now that was inter-organizational. Now I say intra-organizational means the retailer is removed from the in between. You might have heard the ads: direct factory to customer, direct manufacturer to customer. What is it? It is intra-organizational. Means where the middleman is not there, where the company is selling directly to the customer. In B2C model, a customer goes to a website, selects a catalog, orders from the catalog, and an email is sent to the business organization. After receiving the order, goods are dispatched to the customer. Are you getting my point? Means there is no middleman in there. That company is selling, the customer is purchasing. There is no one in between responsible for passing on the goods from a company to the customer, and it definitely reduces the cost as well because the middleman is not there. What are the key features of B2C model? Heavy advertising required to attract the customers. Now the retailer has a limited number of customers if we talk of inter organization. Here in intra organizational, your customers are spread throughout the world. So you need a huge amount of advertisement to attract the customers. Then we need high investments in terms of hardware and software, because now we have to establish a bigger organization, because we have to fulfill the requirements of every customer. Then we have support or good customer care service. Means you have to be very good only in case of customer care services, otherwise you will not be able to retain your customers. So intra organization is a bigger version of inter organization, where the 3 level tier reduces to 2 level, but the responsibilities definitely will increase on the higher level. So this was about the um, inter-organization and intra-organization e-commerce. I hope you enjoyed the lecture, and do keep waiting to keep watching the site for more such videos, for more such lectures. Thank you for listening patiently. Do join for next classes.